Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com. It's Tuesday. It's November the 12th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And as you can see, I'm still around. I didn't head out to Texas yet. Probably won't till later in the week. I'm trying to keep our kids in school as long as we can so they don't miss any more school than they have to. So we found out today that my wife's sister's funeral will be on Friday, so I won't leave out till probably either Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Again, trying to keep the kids in school as long as we can without taking them out of school and missing school. So my oldest son's in college, and we don't want him to miss any more, especially him. We don't want him to miss any more of his classes than he has to. Um, so I'll do one at least today, maybe tomorrow, and that'll probably be it for this week. And this one, and even if we do one tomorrow, they'll probably be abbreviated. I'll show you what I saw. I didn't really trade, but a couple hours today. I came in late and traded a little later, and just so there were some good setups, so I took them. And I'm just really my frame of mind is not what I'd like it to be, so it's usually not good to trade like that. But I thought I'd go ahead and take a couple of trades. Everything worked out fine, and I thought since I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and do a quick chart lesson since I had my chart drawn up. So again, it'll probably be abbreviated today, but just so you can see what I was seeing, and so you can compare your work to mine, I'll show you what I was looking at. Early on, I was looking at this. We really had this downtrended channel during the overnight. We had a little break, and then our two legs down to a new low, and then we reversed. So if you were trading by around 7 o'clock this morning, this was a nice second entry short, two-legged pullback. It was the first break of this trend line right here, or this trend channel. And so it's a nice reversal bar. That's the kind of reversal bar. I mean, when I'm talking about a nice reversal bar, that's it. Prices opened up here, traded way up here, turned down, and closed all the way down here. You just enter that with a stop. Easy trade. I didn't like this next entry. Uh, you've got this kind of this overnight low right here, and this is really still the overnight low because the market hadn't opened at 8:30 yet. It didn't open until over in here. Um, so it's a failed break below really a double bottom. There's really a double bottom. You should have had this line right about there then. It's a failed break. It comes back. It's too close to, there's too much support right there. I didn't like this, especially after a trend line break. So it's better to sit tight and see if you don't get a chance to go long, which you did here um, on a failed second entry short. And it's a little aggressive because, again, it's not a great setup, you know, but if you're looking at this like a range, you know what's likely to happen are prices to go back up and test the high, which at that point I was looking it up here. And you see we got close to that. We really only traded up here to about where yesterday's closes were. You can see we tested that a couple of times there too. So I moved that up as the day went on, but earlier I was kind of playing it right along there. Excuse me. So aggressive trader would have gone long right there. Uh, I'd almost wanted to make this one the same. I actually had this line right across. Actually, I think I had it right there because you got some closes right there, and then we kind of closed right there as well. And that's the lows of the range from yesterday. And you normally retest that. And then, so I was looking at this as the early morning range. There's also the idea I drew this line off the top and drug it down. We weren't back here yet, but, you wanted to have this here just in case, and I'll show you, in a minute. We'll talk about that. But I was looking at this was a high. We already had turned down there, so it's a second entry short. It's a failed break above. It's a double retest of this breakout area, really, is what it is. And you turn back down, and again, this is looking like a range, and you can see, prices are on both sides of this of the EMA. And I was tempted to draw this one in green, but I believe this was, at this point, you had this little channel working up to the break, the retest, and then the turn down. And it was a nice, easy trade. And then, of course, you come down here, and you should have drawn this line by now off these couple of swings high here. You can see that. and then you just drag it down. It fits right there. Same line there. and and then you get a bounce right there. And look at there again, a nice reversal bar right there. And let's make these a little lighter, because they're just like a little temporary trend. You can see prices moving higher. Again, you get the break, attempt to go higher, pull back, but this was holding, so it was tempting to try to go long here, but even at this point, you should have had this moved up to here. And so now I'm thinking, well, hey, well, maybe the top of the range is here, and you do have two measured legs up at this point as well. So that's another reason to, that's what you should have been looking for your target. You can see that's a perfect measured move right there. So now you got two legs up. There's a good chance you're headed back down. It's looking a little like there might be a channel here, but there's enough room. It's a failed second entry long, so it's a trap right there. So I like that for a short. I didn't expect it to shoot straight through. I expected it to find a little resistance, but it shot straight through, came back, tested it, and turned right back down. That's a two-legged pullback. And I originally had this trend line drawn a little steeper. Let's just move this one back. I originally had this one drawn a little steeper like so, and then I had it drug up here, but you can see it still kind of fit the bill for looking for a reversal right in that area. But it's really what it is. It's two tries. You got that high right there. You tried to go higher once, then twice, and it's a retest of that little area. It turns down, and it is looking like a range day. So, I'm looking at it both ways. And so I'm looking for this. And there's also the fact that you got this short term. You got a little channel right here. You need to be drawing these if you're not. And you can see it kind of works right down through there. I think I originally had mine about like that right there because of that little test right there. But you could have drawn it a little bit steeper too for the shorter term one, more like that. And this, this is what I'm always saying. You don't have to get it exactly right. You just have to be close. And I think that's how I drew it right there originally. You get the break, the retest, and then you get a couple legs up. And then, of course, you got to draw one on the way back. And this one's moving right up through there. And you get the... You can see it right there. For some reason, I drew that one twice. And you can see you got the little break, the retest, and it turns down, and it turns out that's where the channel was coming down in the end. And so a chance to go short there on a second entry is two legs up, a retest of, all the reasons I said, a retest of this, a retest of this line. It turns out there's a channel up here, and, you don't know it's going to do this, but that's why you hold a runner. And, normally what I do is look to exit right here, especially if we were to the other side of this channel, which I think it's probably right along through there. So a good place to exit. You could have got a couple more. If you held on, of course, if you like to hold on, you could ride this all the way to the bottom. But I usually exit and look for another entry. I didn't like entering long here because you're not back to this trend line. It's bouncing off the lows of what could be a trading range. So I didn't necessarily like going long right there, but this is a little aggressive, and if you wanted to treat this like the range, you could actually go long right here. It would have worked. I didn't necessarily like it because it's starting to look like a channel here, and I think I might have originally had that right there. And if you did, you might have even thought about going short right there, but I think it's just too close to that support. You know what normally happens, but it did go down, and look, it comes back and tests it twice, and then you get a chance to go short. So if you want to be real aggressive, you could go long there. Again, this was a nice second entry short, and you normally look to exit here. Of course, if you want to hang on and see if it gets through there, you can. But it's generally going to bounce there to support that strong, and it's probably going to come back and test it a few times too. But you could look at this a couple of different ways. If you were looking at this as the range, you could look at there being a break right here, and then you got to move to a new low. So then you got to be real careful about going short. It was tempting to go short right here, but it's not the best setup. It's really it's kind of a double bottom. It's a slightly higher high, but it's coming back to test this breakout. So you really got to wait on the second entry, in my opinion, right here, and you really got it right here. Notice this is a new low, first entry short, second entry short, but again, it's not a real good setup. It's possible we've already had a break of the trend channel. Uh, and if you had it out here, then you didn't get the break till right here. And that was kind of the way I was looking at it by that time, that this was the break. And so that was another reason I kind of thought going short there might not be a bad trade. You got room to get out before you get down here. You got a little failed break back into the range. It's not a great setup though. It is a second entry though, so I like that. And it's really like a failed, this is a new low. You got a first entry pullback, so it's a failed second entry long as well. So there's a couple reasons that aggressive trader would probably go short there. And you don't know if it's going to do that, but look what happens. And then you get a second entry short right here. Again, no reason to be thinking to be going short right there. There's no setup of any kind. Um, and in fact, I'm looking for a reversal right here, and you should be thinking possible reversal. And especially if you drew this line right across here and you drag it down when you get the reversal, you might have waited to here on a second entry, but by that time I think you're getting too close to right here. So that is a failed second entry short was the main reason I like that. Notice the new low, first entry pullback, second entry, that reverses right there. It's a retest of that line if you had it drawn that way. And so that's a great place to try to get long, figuring you're going to come back and test these highs again. And it found resistance there, but when it turned down again, now it's on a bigger picture. That's two legs up. That's a failed second entry short. I liked going long on a break above that bar right there, and boy, it just took off. Boom. That happened. It was almost like a news event right there. I don't know if something came out or what, but my order got executed, and just instantly I was out, and it was way up here. So I don't know what happened, if it just caught the stops or what, or if there was some kind of news item. I never really went to look to see. I know the Fed was talking today, so maybe something the Fed said had something to do with that. It wasn't FOMC announcement day, but there was some kind of Fed speaker today or something, and maybe they said something that rallied the market right there. But I'm guessing it just caught everybody trapped, and that's what traps do, and then when it goes higher, it hits all those stops. But this was a really good long trade right here, and that was really all I saw by the time. I was a little late. I traded a little later today because I came in later and didn't take most of the morning trades. But keep drawing your little trend, your short-term trends and all that. And this low kind of started right here. And you can see that one. This is really the break right here, I would guess. On this one, that's what I would call it. And if you just double check it, make sure it fits on both sides. You can see you got a break here, two legs to a new high, and then it sold off. And that's typically what you expect to see. So these things work, and draw your short-term ones. Here's this one coming down. You got this move down here. You got the break, two legs to a new low, and then this one started. And so you can, it starts to get messy. So you got to kind of clean it up, or make sure you only draw short lines so they don't go sticking all out into the other price action. But that's what I saw today, and it's a little before 3 o'clock now. And I'm going to wrap this up. Like I said, I may be back tomorrow. Definitely probably won't be anything Thursday or Friday. It'll probably be the next week before we'll have anything for if you don't see a chart lesson tomorrow. So, but I hope you had a good trading day. I'll be back either maybe tomorrow, but maybe next Monday. So if you don't see anything else later this week, you know why. And hope you have a good trading week, and we'll be back to do it again soon. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.